Well, we're here. Hi, lovelies. My name is Jessica, and welcome to Makeup Misfit, and welcome to the anticipated, I told you they were coming, makeup collection videos. So before I start this one, I do just want to say that I threw it out there. I put up a poll. I left it up for quite a while. I wasn't quite sure when I was going to get around to filming this. I was trying to organize, figure things out. I was debating on how I wanted to do some of this collection video stuff. So when it came to my single blushes, bronzers, highlighters, I am going to be doing them all in one video, and then I'm going to be doing face palettes separate. Now, in my community tab, in my poll, it was a very, very close, and I was actually leaning the other way at one point, and then it switched. So at first, because I was debating whether or not to put like blush duos, highlight quads into my face palettes, or if I should just leave those with all of my highlighters. Do a video for just highlighters, do a video for just blushes, and then my face palettes would only be duos plus of multiple items. So a blush and a bronzer, or a highlight and a blush. It was leaning that way for a little bit, and then it switched. So it's very, very close, but for the sake of filming, for trying to get all 4 of my makeup collection and inventory videos up in a row, I am going to only be doing 4 videos, but for inventory purposes, because I normally wouldn't really keep track of how many items I had in my collection, I want to kind of start and just compare for next year. I would do the numbers, but I wouldn't really think much of it, and I wouldn't really compare back to the previous year. I would just be curious in the moment, but I do want to keep track and then see the changes that happen throughout my collection throughout this year, and then compare at the beginning of 2025 and see where things are at. So with that being said, Okay, so with that being said, the way that I am doing this video, these are my blush, bronzer, and highlight singles. Now, I am going to preface this by saying there are a couple duos in here, but they are single pans. So it could be a split pan. I will show you guys one of them currently at the moment. This is a highlighter, which I'll be showing you a little bit later. It's a duo. It is a split pan, but technically there's only one pan. It's not 2 separated pans like this duo from Sigma, where you have a completely separate pan for each product. So I'm doing this based off of the pans of product in my collection. So I'm going to do the singles, and then with my face palettes, it's going to be everything that's a duo plus, whether it's a blush duo, a highlight trio, whatever it is. And then I'm going to also break it down in that video, and just tell you guys how many like specific pans of highlighter I have, how many specific pans of blush I have, and then just a general amount of face palettes. So we'll get more into that when that video rolls around in a couple of days, but for now we're only working on these single pans of product. Duos or not, if it's in a single pan, it's considered one pan of product. So I've been fighting this for a little while, trying to figure out how I want to do this, but for filming's sake, for whatever, I'm just going to do it this way. But I will, like I said, break down the numbers so that next year I can compare it, and I can kind of switch things up if I feel like it. I might still be able to do that if I break it down enough this year. So let's start off with highlighters. Now, I was going through everything. I wrote them all down. I will show you guys everything that I have, and then I will let you know the number of highlighters that I have so far. The first highlight I'm going to chat about is one that is newer to my collection. This is from MAC. This is in Double Gleam. I purchased this on Black Friday from the MAC website. So considering how new it is and the fact that there's even any usage in here means that I'm really enjoying this one. I like to keep my things pretty pristine when I first get them in. So if I use a product right away, either I'm super excited about it, I'm ready to dive into it, and even at that, sometimes I don't reach for it. So this has had a lot of love already, considering it's brand new. And I believe this one is the newest one to my collection. This is the Sephora Golden Hour Highlight Duo, and this is in Daybreak. I did want the lighter one as well, but they were already sold out of that, and they are discontinuing these. So these remind me of the Fenty Beauty highlighters, where you have the split pan, and one side is a little more subtle, and one side is a little bit more glittery, which is my favorite. So I definitely don't like compare the two, like quality wise, but I am excited to dive into this one a little bit more. I have used it a couple of times and I've enjoyed it so far, but those Fenty ones, I don't have one at the moment because I have completely finished one up a few years back, but I would like to repurchase eventually. Another one that I have, which I'm wearing today, is from Catrice. This is the More Than Glow highlighter in Supreme Rose Glow. So you'll see that I've worn away the embossment. I had this in a project a little while back, and my goal was just to wear away the embossment. Besides wearing it today, I haven't worn it since. Pulling all of my makeup out, I'm like, oh, I want to dive and play with this stuff. So I've been kind of tweaking a couple of things, playing with some things. So this is what I decided to reach for today. And I also decided to reach for this Milk highlighter. This is the Flex highlight in the shade Lit. Super pretty. Again, I had this in a project. I want to say it was to wear away the embossment as well. I really enjoyed this one too. I want to dive into and play with some of these highlighters a little bit more because they've just been hanging out while I've been working on other stuff, and I feel like they deserve some love. One that has the most love that you would have ever seen, and you have absolutely heard me chat about this, is my favorite highlighter of all time, the Cookie Highlight from Benefit. This is all that's left, you guys. This is going to be completely used up this year. I am so excited about it, but I know I'm going to miss it. So I also ended up getting Tickle for Christmas, which I was hoping was going to be just as good as Cookie. This is the pink version of it. I have reached for it a couple of times, but I think that it's a little bit too deep for me right now. It might be better in the summertime. I did pair it with Cookie at one point. Oh my God, like the weight difference between these two, this is like feather light. You can barely even feel it, and you can definitely tell that this is full of product. But I am excited to like actually give this a better chance and focus on this at some point this summer. See how much I like it, and I have a feeling Cookie's probably going to come back into my collection at some point. One that you can no longer get as well is from Aether Beauty. This was before they rebranded. I don't even know if they're a thing anymore. But this like has that little elastic. This is the Supernova Crush Diamond Highlighter in Pink Diamond. So yeah, Pink Diamond Dust. So it doesn't really look pink. It looks a little more like peachy, slightly yellow in the pan. I've used this a couple times. Again, haven't used it since I had it in a project quite a while ago. I want to say probably a couple years ago at this point now, or beginning of 2023. I can't quite remember. But I would like to pull this out, try this out again. If you've watched any of my videos over the last little while, December especially, I was talking about wanting some pink highlighters. But like the more that I'm going through my stuff, the more I'm finding some. So I want to play with them and see if that's like the pink that I'm itching for, because there's a couple that I have in mind that I still want. So we'll just have to see if these pink ones fit that bill. If not, then eventually I'll probably end up purchasing those pink ones. One that I do thoroughly enjoy is the Natasha Denona Super Glow, and this is an 01 Fair. I hit pan and I just kept on going. I had this in a project for 10 uses and I continued on. I hit pan. I was not expecting it. I was just loved gravitating and using this, and I haven't worn it for a little while, so I would like to play around with it, expand the pan a bit. But I thoroughly enjoy this one, and I kind of want to get the shade up. I think that one might be a little bit better for me for the summertime, and this one would be perfect for me for the winter. I do have a couple here from Ofra. This is in Retrograde, so if I can open it, that'd be cool. And this is the split pan of a purple tone and I'm not sure what they're actually called. I want to say this one's called Neptune, but I don't know which one this one is. It doesn't say on the back of this. Have not used it. I have swatched it out. I've swatched them individually and then mixed them together. They're beautiful. I was really wanting a lavender lilac type of look, and I've been looking for that highlighter. I forgot I had this, so that's why I love doing these. I would like to try and get some use on it, see if I can pull that little light lavender look that I've been itching for. The other one that I have is the Nikki Tutorials collab, and this is in Cloud 9. So this is the one that has that little peach, I think it is, duo shift, which is super pretty. Again, haven't actually worn it, just swatched it. But one that I have been wearing because I've been pulling it into a project and working on it, it's from Stila. we're good. We're good. This is the Heaven's Hue highlighter in the shade Kitten. So this is like a cream to powder, which really doesn't make me gravitate towards this highlighter. I kind of tend to forget about it, probably because of the formula. But now that I have it in a panning project and my goal is just to reach for it 10 times, I've really been enjoying it. It gives you like this subtle but still there look. And as much as I'm into the glittery stuff, I really do enjoy this because it's like, I'll just swatch it out a little bit for you. It's sheer, but it's shimmery and it's there and it's just, it's beautiful. Like, I do enjoy this one. So eventually one day I would like to completely finish this off, but because of the formula, I know that's going to take a long time, which is fine because I like having something different to pull into my collection. Another formula that is different to my collection is this one by Nabla. This is the Skin Glazing in Ozone, and this is one of those gelée formulas. You can see I've tried wearing away the embossment in the center of the pan. It's definitely going to take a while. This is stunning as well. I'm not going to swatch everything, I promise. But this is a formula that I also don't have in my collection. This is the only one. So the Stila and the Nabla are the only two like different formulas, I guess you could say, that I have in my collection, which is nice because as much as I like powdered products, I can reach for something else and still thoroughly enjoy what I'm wearing. Something that I've had for a very long time is my Tarte Goddess Glow highlighter. Now this thing used to be my birthday highlighter. And for me, my birthday is like a big deal. So it's coming up soon. I'm pumped for it already. This somehow used to be my birthday vibes and it hasn't been for a while. I don't know why, because this is like it's pretty, but there's no way that I would even be okay with wearing that as a highlighter for my birthday. Like, I want to shimmer, glow, like glitter like you wouldn't believe, and this does not do that. But there is so much product in here. So really reaching for this, it was pretty much once a year for a little while. I had this in a project pan just to wear away some of the embossment to get some use on it. So I feel like I might need to do that again because it's been sitting there untouched. I actually tend to forget about it. So maybe one day I will work on it a little bit more. But I do have two highlighters in this magnetic palette. These are both from Bitterlace Beauty. Now these are the glittery goodness that I love. Absolutely adore these two. One of them is Princess Cut. The other one is White Diamond. As you can see by how messy it is, I'm not going to take them out to see which is which, but I absolutely love both of these so much. I would love to get some more Bitterlace Beauty highlighters. I just haven't really gotten around to it, and I kind of just don't really think about it too often, but when I do reach for these, I just fall in love every time. They're both duochromes. One's got more of like a pink tone shift, one's more like, or I think it's like pink and blue, and the other one's still got some pink. There's a little bit of purple in there. They're beautiful. They're stunning. I think you need to like this type of formula to enjoy these ones, but I absolutely do, and I would love to have more in my collection. So we are getting down to it. We are almost finished. One other highlighter that I purchased for the intention of being a blush is this Blush Light from, this is the Digital Dust Highlight from Melt, but this is in the shade Pink Moon. So when I purchased this, I knew that it was going to be way too dark to be a highlight for me. I was intending on it to be a blush. I have not worn it that way, and I think that it's more or less a blush topper because there's no way I'd be able to wear that as a highlight. It's on the bottom there. I also haven't worn it as a blush topper. I never really think about it. And purchasing blush toppers, they're not really like something that I go for. So I don't know how I'm going to get around to using this. Again, it's a pink highlighter, but it's not the pink that I'm looking for. It definitely has, well, I don't even know. I'd say there's a little bit of a peach, a little bit maybe to it. I could be completely wrong. It's like a warmer pink, but it's not the pink that I'm going for. So it's going to stick around. I'm going to try and use it, maybe try to remember to pull this out and use it as a blush topper. I do have it in my highlight category. I might switch it over to my blushes. I'm not quite sure. For numbers as of right now, it's going to stay with my highlights. If I do decide to switch it over to my blushes at some point during this year, when I do my inventory numbers next year, I will let you guys know. But I do have this one. And then last but not least, I have 3 mini highlighters from Becca. And I've been holding on to these babies because Becca is obviously no longer. 2 of them are the same and one of them is a different highlight. So this one is in Moonstone, which is untouched. If you are watching my Birthstone Beauty, or if you saw my Paranormal Pantivity project, you will know why this one has no usage on it. And then the other two are vanilla quartz, which I had never tried before. I had tried Moonstone, I had tried Opal. So when Becca was going out of business, I decided to purchase a couple of these because I really enjoy their highlighters, and I knew that if I was going to go through one and I really liked it, I would want a backup. So I bought two. This one only has a swatch on it, so that's like the most use that any of these have. But this one seems like when I swatched it out, I had seen like this purple shift, which I thought was super pretty, and I got really excited about it. Oh, sorry, that was the one that was untouched. This is the one that has the little swatch in it. You might be able to see the difference. But I thought that these two were absolutely stunning, so I'm really excited to eventually dip into these. I know I need to use them sooner than later, at least one of the vanilla quartz ones. Once the other Moonstone that I have is finished, I will start to reach for this one at some point, but I don't want to use it until the other one has been completely used up. So those are my highlighters. So I have 1, 2, 3. Oh no, I have one left, sorry. The one that is left, I normally don't consider it as part of my collection, but I probably should. I never use it. Don't think I've ever actually put it on my face. I swatched it a couple of times, but it's a loose powder, which is a type of product that I don't like. I like pressed powders. I find they're just so much easier. I find loose powders, unless it's like a setting powder, is just too messy. So this one is from Wet n Wild. This is the Mega Glow Loose Highlighting Powder, and this was from their Zodiac collection. I've kept this around because it was so pretty. Swatching it out, like the glitter that I love is in here. This is kind of pink too now, actually, that I look at it. I'm just gonna see. Like, it is a stunning highlighter, but I just never use it because it's a loose powder and I just feel like it's gonna get way too messy. But I do think it's pretty. Like, I don't know if you're really going, I probably swatched that in the wrong spot. But like, you can see right there a little bit. Like, it is stunning. I really should pull this out, try to get some use on it. Trying to finish something like this would take me years and years and years. I don't know if I'd ever get around to doing that, but at least try and get some sort of use on it. I think that would be probably ideal at this point. So I have marked down, I believe, 20 highlighters. Let me just take a quick peek. Yeah, 20. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So I have 20 of these single pan highlighters. We'll see what the numbers are going to be looking like next year because I do plan on purchasing. There's a couple that I'm interested in. Of course, like I have been mentioning, maybe a couple more pink highlighters. We'll have to see. But at the same time, I would like to try and use some of these up. So I know Cookie is going to be completely finished off by the end of this year. So that will be one down for sure. Even though there's not much in it right now, I am going to consider it a completely finished off highlighter for 2024 because I do still have some of the product at the beginning of this year. So I know we'll be down one highlighter. I'm going to try and hyper focus on a couple of them maybe and see what I can do and get some more progress going. But I'm okay with that number. Yes, there's a lot. Yes, I tend to forget about certain things, but I can play around, and when I do remember that I have it and dig into it and love it and then like just gravitate towards it all the time, it's a nice little surprise. So next we're going to move on to my blushes. So my blushes are slightly higher than my highlighters, but not by much. So we're going to just pull and chat, and I actually have two highlighters in here. These two are from a Stila palette. I don't remember the name of the palette. If I remember to find, or if I can even find a photo, I will post it just to kind of show you guys. So I don't know what the names of these two were, but there was the palette that had the eyeshadows in there. I have this in a project right now to use them 10 times because these two shades had absolutely no use on it before I like got rid of that palette. So I've used them a couple of times. For some reason, I just never gravitated towards it, but I always wanted to use the highlighters because pink's my favorite color. I've always wanted to like use the pink blushes. So I'm glad that I pulled these in and that they're gonna get a little bit of love because I would like to finish these off one day. We're just gonna chat about a couple other pink highlighters because I have a little something to say. So this is Down Boy by The Balm. Again, very few uses on this one. I got it at Winners and I probably dipped into it like maybe less than a handful of times. Definitely not a whole lot. And then the last two like real pink highlighters that I have are in here. So this one is by MAC, and this is Love Cloud, and then this one is Dandelion by Benefit. Again, Benefits had some use, but not a whole lot. Love Cloud I used more when I first got it, which was like years ago at this point. But I do want to dip into these ones as well. So considering pink is my favorite color, I've been wanting pink highlighter. I absolutely love and adore it, and I have like 5 pink blushes. They are the least used in my collection. Don't know why, but for some reason I just don't pull out the pink blush. But I think I'm going to make it a goal for February to try and use pink blushes more often, get some use on them, and obviously they'll be around in my collection for a little while, which is totally fine. But those like bubblegum pink, those baby pink blushes, I just want to get some use and show them some love because they deserve it. Another highlighter that I have, so this has become a single. If you've seen me show this before, this is the MAC and Jeremy Scott Face Trio, but this has been a highlighter. It is a pink blush too, but this has been a single blush for quite a while. I had this in a couple of projects. I completely finished off the highlighter and the bronzer. I hit pan on that blush, and now my goal is going to be to completely finish off the blush. Don't know when, don't know how, but at some point this year that blush will be gone. This palette will stick around because like this is me in a palette. Part of me in a palette. I can say that about a few things, but I absolutely love this packaging so much. The blush I do enjoy. It is called Wall of Desire. And I do like it, but I just haven't reached for it for a long time, and because it's the only one left in this palette, I just want to get it out of my collection, so I do want to focus on that this year as well. So I do have one of my absolute favorite blushes. I've mentioned this in one of my videos in December. I was talking about a couple of my favorites. This blush, I will be so sad once it's gone, but I know I'll be happy about it at the same time. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, it is the Too Faced Pop It Out Peach Blush. This thing still smells like peaches. I absolutely love this. There's so much pan in this shade. I just want to completely finish it off because I love it so much, but at the same time, I know I'm going to miss it. Now, I did not wear this very often in 23. I just wasn't really pulling those coral shades out. I wasn't really feeling it, but 22 is when I got all the love on this shade. So I'm really hoping that this year I can pull out those coral shades, pull this out, get some more love on it, and I think I'm really going to enjoy it. And this is one that I'm hoping I can finish off this year. I do have another peach blush I wanted to show you. So this one is by ColourPop. This is Tearing Up My Heart. So this one I find is very, very light, and it's a little bit too light, but I find that this one would be better to blend out if I put on too much. So I feel like I could definitely pair these two together, and I would be able to, you know, like they're quite different, but at the same time, if I just use this to blend out, or if I put on too much, just to kind of tone it down a little bit. I've worn away the embossment on here, but I've still got a lot left to go, so I would like to get some use going on this one because I kind of tend to forget about that one as well. I do have a few Tarte blushes we're going to chat about, and one of them is very similar to the Tarte or the ColourPop one I just showed you. This is the shade Celebrated. Again, very, very light, neutral. Essentially, I would be using it in the same way as I would be using that ColourPop one to blend out, tone down. You know, I don't think I'd ever be able to use this on its own, maybe in the dead of winter, but even then, I think it's a little bit too light for me. I do enjoy this shade though. I have liked it before, so I think that it would be best used as a blending out blush or something just to tone down if I put on way too much, because I tend to do that. I do like my blush to be a little bit more prominent than normal sometimes. This is another mini blush that I have from Tarte. This one is in the shade Blissful. Now, I don't remember where I got this one. This one hasn't been used yet, and I'm debating what I want to do with this. In the pan, the shade, it's bright pink, but like more of like a, I don't know, reddish pink. It could just be because of the color of the packaging that it's in, and I think that might be what's throwing me from this. So I don't know if I'm going to keep this in my collection or not. It has had no use on it, so we're going to have to see. But I really do enjoy these Tarte blushes. The next one that I have was a Tarte Reward, so I'm assuming I got this off their website. This is in the shade Quirky. This one, again, has not been used, but this one looks a little bit more peachy, so I think I could probably play with some peach tones this year, hopefully, and get a little bit of love shown on this one, because I think I do want to keep this. I haven't really thought about getting rid of it, but I do think it's like a beautiful shade. So I would like to try and show some love to that one. I do have a couple of mini NARS blushes. So this first one here is called Deep Throat. This one does have a little bit of pan in it, so I would like to expand that and completely finish off this blush this year. And then another one I'm working on currently is in my, I want to say hashtag Beauty Chest project. This one is in the shade Goulet. So this is what it looks like. It is a very beautiful shade. I have been craving that plum. This isn't quite that, but it's as close as I can get at the moment. So it's doing it for now, even though it's not quite hitting that mark. And then I have another mini blush from Laura Mercier. This is the Blush Color Infusion in the shade Rosé. And this is also in my hashtag Beauty Chest along with the NARS one. They're in for the same prompt. This is very pretty, but again, I don't reach for it as much as I reach for Goulet, probably because I'm a little tired of these shades, but I do enjoy it. Want to hit pan on that. Same with this one. We're going to get those out sometime this year, hopefully. So next I'm going to chat about a couple Clinique ones. Now we're going to go back to the whole lilac lavender type of look. And actually before I chat about the Clinique ones, I'm going to chat about this Melt one. So the lavender lilac type of look that I have been wanting to do, this is a Melt blush light and this is in the shade Electra. So this is the shade that I was looking for when Sephora had it on their website. I purchased one probably on sale. It was very powdery. I haven't worn it since, but I didn't feel like it was quite the pigment that I was looking for. I felt like it was very light and I had to try and build it up a lot, but it wasn't really going very far. So I wanted to try and find another one, which is where I brought in this Clinique Cheek Pop in Pansy Pop. Haven't worn it, so I have no idea if this is going to be what I'm looking for or not. I think it's a little bit more pink than I was hoping for, but I'm going to try them out. I would love to try and do like a lavender type of look. And then I purchased two from Clinique. I bought them off their website, and this one is in Pink Honey Pop. I think it's beautiful. I love the tone of this one. Again, just have not used it yet. One that I have surprisingly not only used, but actually enjoyed is this mini, this is the Natasha Denona Bloom Highlighting Blush. And this is intense looking. It is absolutely stunning though, because this one is more of a shimmer blush and so deep and intense in the pan. I was terrified to try and put this on. I wore this a couple of times last spring and I honestly fell in love with it. I really haven't reached for it since. My goal, my plan was to wear it more so in the summer, and I didn't end up doing that, but I really want to pull this out this year because it is stunning. It just kind of gave a very beautiful flush to the look, and even though I'm more into the matte blushes, once in a while a shimmer blush is kind of nice just to spice things up a little bit, give you a little something different, and I really did enjoy this one. So I'm expecting and hoping to get a lot of use on that this year. All right, we're almost done with the blushes. We have a few left to go. Another one is from Udenzai. This is the Alva Flower Blusher, and this is in Water Lily. I got this in a mystery bag, which I normally don't buy, but I was actually happy that I purchased this one. This is the one that came with it. It was a little bit too deep, so I'm not quite sure. I think this is going to be more of like a fall winter blush, but I'm going to test it out and see how much I enjoy it. And then I have two left, and these are both from Melt, and these are the Digital Dust blush duos. So this one is in Buzzkill, which looks like this. Now, I don't think I'd be able to wear any of these as a highlight, like the shade. I probably have to blend these together and wear them as a blush, which is what they're intended for. But I mean, sometimes you can use them as a highlighter because these are very shimmery. I was kind of looking at it in that sense as well, but I don't think I'd be able to do that. And then this one is on Raw Honey, which is deeper, so I know I definitely wouldn't be able to wear either of these as a highlight. But I was kind of hoping, especially with these like highlighter tone shades, but I think this would be very pretty in the winter. I should actually try that out because I haven't quite yet. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Why did I mark 21? I have 20 or 21 blushes. I will recount. I will put numbers up on the screen. I might be missing something, but I have 20 or 21 single blushes, so we are pretty much where we're at with the highlighters. Now last, we're just gonna chat about bronzers, but this is gonna be quick because this is always my smallest category. And what we're gonna chat about real quick, just to get them out of the way, is the 4 Marc Jacob Mega Bronze bronzers that I have. 3 of these are in the shade Tantastic, and 1 of these is in the shade Tantric. I do want to use these. I've been saying for the last little while that I want to get some use and love on them. I think Tantric is going to be my summer shade. Tantastic will be the rest of the year shade, hence why I have 3 of them. But these are huge. I do need to show these some love, get them going, and I plan on doing that as soon as I finish off a couple of other highlighters. The one that I'm currently working on is actually the Dallas Blush by Benefit, but this is a bronzer shade for me. This is all that's left. This is not going to take me much longer, and I'm so excited that that's going to finally be out of my collection. Other bronzer that I plan on using right away is just this tiny little one from LA Colors. I just pulled this into a project. It's a light, small, shimmery bronzer, so I'll probably wear it more like spring, summertime. But it'll probably take me almost that long just to get through this one. Once I've completely finished off these 2, then I think I'm gonna start to focus on those Marc Jacob ones. I do have 2 from Bobbi Brown. One is a mini, and this is in the shade Bronze. So it's one of these shimmer bricks. And then I have not used this one yet, but I have dipped into this larger full-size one called Beach. I think I was using this one a little bit last spring and summer, because if I can open this, why can't I open it? There we go. That is what this one's looking like. So I've dipped into this one a little bit. These I feel like are going to be around for a little while, but that's okay because I feel like it would take a long time to get through those. And then the newest one to my collection is from Give Me Glow, and this is just a single in the shade Sandy Buns. I wanted to just test it out, see how good their bronzers are. I do think that this is probably a slightly bit too warm for me, so I think this is going to be good in the summertime. That's when I'm probably going to try and test it out. With my bronzers, I like to just use them completely up before I move on to the next one. So that is one reason why I don't have so many. I'm not really on the search for any more bronzers. If I do like this one though, I do think I might repurchase another shade depending on how this one looks on me. I want to test the formula. We'll see how it goes, but I'm not in the market for another bronzer at the moment, so we'll just have to see. But that is it. So I have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bronzers. So of course, as always, last year I think I had 8, which would kind of equal to this year because this is technically a blush, but because I'm using it as a bronzer, I'm putting it in my bronzer category. And that is it. So 20 highlighters, 20 or 21 blushes, I will have to recount, and then 9 bronzers. So that is everything for my single compacts. Tomorrow I'm going to have my face palette, so I'm really going to break down the numbers in there as well and then give you guys full totals at the end of that video. So stick around to see how many highlighters I have exactly, how many blushes I have exactly, how many bronzers I have exactly, and anything else that I have thrown into my face palette category. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.